Hi, I'm your host, Courtney Webb, and this is Courtside. It's a digital series about QVC entrepreneurs, and we have our first co-founded couple who actually co-founded Acre, one of our newest brands here at QVC, and I'm going to welcome them both in, Miss Helen Reavey and Mr. Colm Mackin. Welcome in.
How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us today. We're so excited that you're the newest brand at QVC through the big find. So first off, you're married.
Yes. Last time I checked.
So we had the joke earlier, Colm was saying this is couples counseling, so we're going to get into that for sure.
Yeah,
but first off, tell me a little bit about Acre and how it was established.
Well, first off, we've been together for 19 years. We met in Ireland at the first day of college. And so Acre was born out of our relationship. Me being a hairstylist and Colm having a finance background. So kind of the perfect creative business scenario to start something like this.
Yeah.
And Colm was always, my biggest cheerleader when I came from working in the salon to working in fashion in New York with celebrities and editorial. And it was from that, working with these top models, going to Fashion Week, that we realized that there was no clean hair care on the market that worked to remove, build up, and look after your scalp. And that's how Acre was born.
Oh, and so Acre was found by QVC. You were already an established brand. How long has the brand actually been up and running?
We launched in January of last year with Vogue, and then I bizarrely reached out to one of your colleagues at QVC, because growing up in Ireland, we were obsessed by QVC. I don't know if you know that. We were completely obsessed, and we were like, look, it's probably, we're too early, we're too young, but you know what, why don't we just do this? Imagine telling our kids someday that we actually went and auditioned for QVC. That would be so funny. And I reached out to Rob, and he was like, hey, you should totally apply for this competition. And that's kind of how it started. Yeah, it was so fun.
Well, Rob Robillard is one of our beauty directors. He's like the main man in beauty here at QVC. And the fact that he was like, go ahead and apply, you went through the whole process. Now, QVC does a fact-checking beyond fact-checking process when we bring in new brands. And the big find was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for an entrepreneur to bring a product. You co-founded this product. Tell me what it was like actually getting yourselves ready to come onto QVC.
Well, thankfully, me and Helen live in very different swim lanes. I was a lawyer before. I worked in finance, so I'm all business. Mine was like getting the product into the bottle, and Helen's all brand. It's to make it look beautiful, and to make it so. What is it?
To make the ingredients work.
And to make it work exactly. So it's kind of like that brand and business, and that's kind of how we sat together. And as Helen said, this was born at Couture Fashion Week. February of 2017 was the first time that I actually went to Fashion Week and I seen what Helen did firsthand. Because I always Helen was a celebrity hairstylist, but didn't talk about celebrities. It's not on her Instagram. And I was like, this will never work as a business because she just doesn't do it. And then I went there and I seen her working with all these designers and creating the mood and talking to designers going, why now? Why is this collection relevant? Working with the models and having these incredible relationships with photographers. I was like, we need to build something on this.
Yes.
So we went back to New York and I believe in the power of positive attraction. And most of my friends in New York are actually all chemists and physicists. I don't know why that is, but they're all, they all work in Sloan Kettering. And I was like, okay, well, we get the boys over and we would just whiteboard this in our apartment and figure out. And it was just a simple question that we were asking going, how do you make shampoo? What is it? I have no idea what it is. And I'm like, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old. And it was through that approach and Helen's questions that we figured out how people were making shampoo, how every other brand was making shampoo. And that was through heat. So you boil the ingredients to 180 degrees, everything evaporates, all the goodness evaporates, And Helen was like, well, we can do this in a better way. Like cold pressed juices were just coming onto the market at that time, and we were like, can we do this with hair care? And we're like, maybe, I don't know. And we just started doing a ton of research with the guys.
And because sustainability was such a huge part of our philosophy, us as people, we're like, how can we do this in a better, more meaningful way? Not just with packaging. Like, I feel like that should be a have to have now. So we went into the whole process and how we can go back to how our ingredients are made, and not only where the ingredients come and the quality of the ingredients, but how they're actually manufactured to become that product and go into the bottle. And that's when we developed cold process methods. So similar to cold press juice for your hair, we've retained the ingredients that are put into the product, and that allowed us to create a clean hair care brand that performs really well, because the nutrients that are in the detox, the cleanse, the condition are just so incredible.
And they haven't been evaporated.
Yeah, they haven't been evaporated.
And that's really what it was.
And using 90% less energy as well.
Yeah. And the thing about it was, you know, with my background in law, we were able to get a global patent on
cold
processing. So no one can kind of use this method. Oh. Like, everyone should be doing it. Like truth be told, it costs us so much more to make the product.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we don't care. We have 97% more vitamins in our product than anyone else. So we were like, it's funny actually. When I talk about the product and the brand, and Helen talks about the product and the brand, we talk from very different perspectives. I'm very utility, like, look at the numbers, this is better for you. And Helen's very much...
It's all about a feeling for me.
A feeling,
I want
emotion.
The scent of it and the experience.
It's all about the experience. It's about how you feel afterwards, how you feel while using it, and how you feel, you know, with your hair afterwards. For me, it's like, not just about how your hair looks now and scalp health focus, it's how your hair looks 10 years from now. We're using eye cream on our face so that in 10 years time we look better. We're using sunscreen so we look better, and we know these things, but we don't know that actually looking after our scalp ensures that our hair is healthier long term as well. And it is that feeling. Even when I'm on set with my clients, for me it's about how I make them feel. Obviously they'll have beautiful hair at the end, but that is the number one thing for me.
I think it's great that the two of you marry two different sides of the business, because you're getting all the perspectives that me as a customer, and I'm sure a lot of us who are watching, are actually looking for. And we want to know that the efficacy is there. We want to know that it was thoughtfully designed and created, and that it happens to be sustainable. So speaking of that, we have a stamp of approval at QVC called a Clean Beauty Seal. You received the Clean Beauty Seal, which means it's free of parabens and sulfates, and it's cruelty-free. So you mentioned a little bit of why that was important to you both to create it in Acre, but tell us about the specific item that you brought to us at QVC. I actually have the item number right here, and it's the essentials. Tell us why you brought us the essentials as your first product.
So the essentials, really, for me, it was like creating a new playbook for hair care, and really focusing on scalp wellness and that long-term health of your hair. We wanted to make it really simple, because it doesn't matter what hair texture you have, everyone has a scalp, and that's where the hair grows from, and it's so important to look after that, because that really determines the health of your hair, how shiny it looks, when it grows, how strong it's going to feel. So number one, looking after your scalp is so important. So for us, the three products, the detox, starting at the root, delivering the nutrients, moisturizing the scalp. And I always say to people, when's the last time you moisturized your scalp? And everyone's like, oh.
No idea.
But yeah, we moisturize our skin and our face every single day. Why aren't we taking care of our scalp similarly? And, you know, being an extension of your face, it actually ages 6 times faster. So we really need to look after that. Yeah, whether it's even just a weekly detox serum, moisturizer before you cleanse and condition, and then that leads on to like the ingredients that are not included, like the sulfates, because they strip the natural oils. We have a microbiome on our scalp similar to our body, and it's really about keeping that pH balanced and microbiome balance there with scalp health so that you don't end up having any scalp issues. Just keeping it beautiful, relaxed. It also like holds a lot of tension there, and that can lead to damage to the hair.
Yeah, and especially now with the cortisol that's getting released through
the cortisol. So like right now, cortisol levels are so high due to stress. And so what that does, it affects the adrenal glands, and the adrenal glands, they produce the growth hormone. So in your scalp, that hormone slows down. So we've been doing a lot of things around, how to use the scalp detox in other ways, like just through the aromatherapy oils that are in it, using scalp for massage, really getting that blood flowing. But that also is grounding and takes the stress levels down for you, just to help with that.
Helen can nerd out on this stuff.
I know.
This is not going to be 30 minutes if we keep talking about this.
Scalp health is not a sexy subject, but I could talk about it all day. I love it. I love my scalp, and I want it to look good.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I appreciate that you're talking about it, because the fact that you said my face is an extension, my scalp is an extension of my face, and it ages 6 times faster. I mean, that's all stuff that I didn't know. So, I mean, the fact that you're educating us, which is part of why we loved having you both here at QVC, because you're able to tell us the stuff that we don't really know. We haven't put in that effort to know and actually obtain it. So thanks for sharing that. The item number, though, for that item, because it's the essentials, she was just talking about it, is A380174. So that's the product at QVC. You can go to QVC.com to purchase it. And it's your first one that you brought, but you do have a lengthy assortment of products that you guys do offer. And we hope to get more of them at the Q soon. But when you talked about scalp health, I just want to go back into also, you mentioned that your scalp is an extension of your face. So when we think about our skin, and you talked about stress, right now, how are you both able to kind of do your business? You mentioned, Colm, that you were super creative. You loved reaching out. You had all these connections. Now we are confined to the boundaries of whatever that is for each business, for each entrepreneur, and for each person. What are you guys doing right now? How are you staying creative, connected, and being innovative with your product?
Class act,
Yeah, class act is probably we always try to do the right thing for the right reason. And that's kind of been a yardstick for us. It was just like 3 weeks ago, so Helen's this person now that everyone sees, right? Of this happy hairstylist, works with Alicia Keys, everyone. But I knew her 19 years ago when she was working in the salon. And there's very few hair care brands that have, as a founder, a hairstylist. Helen's a hairstylist. So I was actually just sitting here at breakfast one morning, and I'm seeing all of these wonderful things around raising money for bartenders and raising money for restaurant people and service staff. I was like, no one is doing this here for hairstylists. Some of the most giving people in the world. Listen to all of your problems.
We're your therapist.
And now they're just sitting at home silently, suffering through this here. And also, let's be honest, there's the bottom of so many people's jokes as well, which irritated me for years. And I was like, this is nonsense. So I felt like we need to do something. No one else is doing, so we need to do something. So we started something called Class Act. So we kind of are the bridge in between all of these amazing hairstylists that exist all over North America and all of our community. We have an email list of a few 100,000 people, and what we do is we set up these here virtual sessions. So you think about you and your girlfriends on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have them Zoom sessions. So we will arrange to have a world-class hairstylist dial into that session
and teach you how to style your hair.
And teach you how to style your hair.
And we're working on the scheduling to do one-on-one consults, especially for these DIY color jobs that people are doing at home and maybe mess it up, or we can advise you and look at your hair and maybe pick a color. So we're bridging that gap between our community and the hairstylists out of work, and bringing that community together, making our community feel like they're getting something from this, that is making them happy. It's helping them through this time, taking a little bit of stress out of their making them feel good about their hair as well.
Yeah, and we live in New York. New York, LA, the periphery, you have access to like
the best.
The best. You have access to not the like therapists and psychologists and all sort of mindful ops. People in the middle, let's just call it the middle, they use the hairstylists for everything. Now that's removed. That's who they talk to all the time. They're missing that right now, and they need it more than ever. We are privileged to be in a position to connect our community that actually need it to our ambassadors or our hairstylists that also need some income right now. So we pay them to do it, and we connect in the community, and it's worked out pretty amazing. And like honestly, it's been one of the best things we've done this year, or maybe since launching Acre in Acre, because the demand has been overwhelming, and it's just feels good as well doing it.
No, and that's really great because, like I said, there's a lot of people who are needing things right now that they don't have. And some of this stuff doesn't come straight to mind, but then we're starting to have been in these boundaries for a month now, and hair is starting to be realized, and jobs of those that you go to and trust. And some people vet stylists before they're like, I love this person, I will only go to this person. Yeah. And we're hearing it all over social media. So that's amazing that you're connecting and bridging that gap. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it.
Yeah, there's no commitment from the community. They just, it's just completely up to them. If they want to dial in, sign up.
Cool. And where can we do that? Can we just go, do we follow you on your social platforms and then link in?
On Instagram, the link is in our bio, and it's just Acre in Acre.
Okay, awesome. So follow Act in Acre, ACT, and then you can do and then ACRE on majority of the social media platforms, which is awesome. So we got to dive in because you're my first couple that's co-founded something that I've done an interview with. I want to hear the story, the background. So you guys met, you were in Ireland, is that right?
Yeah, first day of college 19 years ago.
That's amazing. Wow, how was it? Like love at first sight? You had the same class, or you guys just heard about each other?
I stole a bag of chips out of his cupboard, and that's how it all started.
See my potato chips, so she's a thief.
I love potato chips. It's like my weakness. And I think we'd gone to like a nightclub maybe, or gone out to a bar and come back and be in a group of girls. We all lived in, dormitories, and or we call them halls. And we went through all the kitchen cupboards trying to find some chips. And that's how we met.
Oh my goodness. So you've obviously forgiven her for being a thief of chips, I'm assuming. Oh my gosh. So then your experience, so you guys have been together for so long, and then you've created this together. What are some characteristics, just by being a couple and creating a business together, that you think are like your strengths? And what would you share with other entrepreneurs on if they're developing something with their significant other, or maybe they have a very close business partner who's their best friend? What are some learnings that the two of you have that you could share with other entrepreneurs?
Even from like speaking to other founders who have co-founders, and they all agree, as long as you have very different qualities within it and that are able to come together and listen to each other and trust each other. Like if both of us were in finance and we both went into this together, it might not work the same way. I think that it's having the expert in the field of hair and then the expert in the field of business is like, I trust everything he tells me about it, and he trusts everything that I say about the product. And then there are times where we come together on like creative, because, I want his opinion on that as well. And we actually bring the whole team in then for that, because I don't want it just to be my eye. I'll bring it to them, and then we all have a good discussion together. And then like on a personal note, it's like we just take that time away from our laptops as well. And then having time where we go out with a friend for dinner and not as a couple, you need that time apart as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was really interesting at the start because we've been together for so long and we know how to communicate. Like, you have to be very disciplined, and sometimes I'll want to say something. Example, like if Helen's hungry, I'm not going to bring up something that she's going to say no. I know she's going to say no.
Because I'm angry.
Because you're like, let's just have a those kind of disciplines, and you train yourself to be like, when's a good time to approach Helen with this idea?
When Colm comes back from the gym and he's
don't talk.
Don't ask him anything. Right? Leave it at least an hour.
Leave it an hour. I need to have my laptop in front of me, and then we can go through things.
Yeah.
But also, Helen's been really fortunate in her career that she travels a lot. Like, she go away with an artist for 2-3 months, so we get the opportunity to miss each other. So, like, she'll go away for 2 months, and we don't talk to each other that much when she's away, because when she comes back, I don't think about how annoying it is that she leaves her shoes at the door. I think about the good stuff. So that I feel is really important in that building a distance. Yeah, you actually have to build something like that. Yeah. We were fortunate in the early stages of our relationship that it was forced upon us because of Helen's. Like, I was a lawyer, so I was in the office. Helen was touring the world, so it was forced upon us. But now we build that distance where I'm like, you know what? You go away for 5 hours, I go away for 5 hours, and then we can kind of create that. And then you said a lot, but like, communication is crazy important, and then communication like that, having that internal dialogue, that relationship with yourself, to be like, even though she said it incorrectly, I know what she meant by that. Mm-hmm. Like, after this here, I would say to Helen, like, truthfully, after this here, Courtney, I would say, how did I do there? And she'd be like, I don't know if you did. Maybe you done this or maybe you done that. But it's really important to be able to just ask the question and be okay with the answer.
Oh, for sure. I think that's a really good quality, a mix of qualities that a lot of us can take from, especially even now, because not only are we trying to build relationships and keep them and communicate with those around us, but one more question before we end our interview here. How are you communicating with your team? So how big is your team? Obviously, it started with the two of you. What does it look like now, and kind of what are you guys doing?
There's 7 people on the team, and how we communicate right now, we have a morning Zoom session, and that's just kind of my biggest role as CEO, is just to get everyone talking to each other. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. I'm fine not talking to the team. They can all work, and they all work in different kind of facets of the business. But getting them talking to each other and keeping everyone's morale up is my biggest thing. So it is definitely a family business. There's a mommy and a daddy. And my role is to get everyone talking to each other, and then Helen has a set of roles. And
also, Colm is obsessed with air fryers right now, which I think is
have those.
And so we have like an internal conversation about this air fryer. So he sent one to each team member.
Oh my gosh!
You guys need to use this. He said I could sell more air fryers than shampoo because he loves it that much.
If I ever want a QVC selling air fryers. You guys would crush it.
It is. So we have these competitions to see who cooked the best meal in their air fryer, and that kind of like keeps us connected.
That is hilarious. Have you tried those air fryer donuts that people are talking about, where you take the canned? Look it up, or I'll send it to you. It looks delicious.
But that is the highlight of our day, when we see all the pictures coming in about everyone cooked last night in their air fryer.
Yeah, it's a big part of it.
Okay, so what did you cook last night with the air fryer?
We cooked fish.
And then
but you put the vegetables in with it as well. But he does these like kind of like protein cookie things in it as well. And they're so delicious.
Packet of oatmeal, peanut butter, like banana, almond milk, blended.
Yeah, we'll send you this.
I'm like, I need to write this down. Okay, peanut butter, got it. Awesome. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been so much fun. Is there anything else you would want to share with anyone who's watching about you all or the brand, or any just last messages before we sign off?
I mean, we're always here. We're very into the business. If anyone has any questions on how to use the product or just anything related to hair scalp, like just DM us on Instagram. We are always available. Doesn't matter. I will jump on a call with anyone who needs anything. Just please dial in. And you don't have to have the product. I will answer any question for you.
And then just from the business side, so I was at Morgan Stanley, and then I left and backpacked around Asia for 4 months to find like world-class packaging, world-class design, product research, brand research, like standing in stores in Japan for weeks on end, just watching how people touch and feel products.
Yeah,
and
even how they open the lid and how they smell the scent, how they connect. That's all in the development and the design of our packaging from doing that researching.
Like living in $5 a night hostels, I wouldn't say I've done it all, but I've done a lot of it. So any young entrepreneurs that want to ask like, how do I get started, more than happy to reach out to me anytime. Colm at acre.com. Happy to talk to anyone.
Oh, that's such great advice. And you two are so open. I think a lot of us appreciate that, especially because we think when we meet founders or when we hear from them, we don't have access to them. But the beauty of you both and of QVC is that we're able to connect people so that they can share and thrive at this time. So thank you so much for doing that. Now, if anyone has any other questions about Acton Acre, definitely reach out to the team. But of course, we have the brand at QVC.com. That item number again is A380174 if you want to try the product. And so thank you both so much. And I hope you have a wonderful week.
Yes, thank you for having us. Thank you.
Bye.
Great. Bye.